Well, hello everybody. Welcome to episode 6 of the Terra Sentia series. We are back and in full effect. I'm very excited to welcome not only my regular and wonderful players who I adore completely, but a special guest tonight. And the special guest is, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Zed. I use they and them pronouns. Do I say things about me?
If you say as little or as much as you'd like to say about you.
I'm a local performer and trouble causer person.
What city do you perform in mostly?
Oh, Portland, Oregon.
Trouble.
Zed.
That's a different chant. You can't.
No, it works.
Okay.
It's like, for synonyms, first off, thank you.
Touche. Anyways, yeah, that's me. Hello.
Cool.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, happy to have you.
Used to play with y'all 3 years ago.
Back when the earth was cooling.
Dinosaurs.
Oh, I need a diaper. Sorry.
I don't.
Need a diaper?
I mean, I like poop jokes.
Do you have one?
I like diaper jokes
I'm-
especially. I feel so included.
I'm passionate about the diaper jokes. Am I awkwardly staring at you now?
It's cool.
If you have to ask, probably yes.
Yeah, anything else? Oh, is there any sort of like social media handle that you'd like to share with any of your various projects that you are doing right now?
Oh, this
And if
is
not?
Do I have to? Okay, so I don't understand how Twitter works. I just joined it, and
Open the window and yell, I think.
I'm confused.
I don't even think that Twitter knows how Twitter works.
Tweet.
Yeah.
That's
Okay,
the
so
president.
anyways, like Twitter exists. You could probably like find Z.E.Jones on there somewhere.
Yeah.
And I'm on Instagram under the same handle. Can we like put text on the thing? Do I have to like?
We'll do the text.
Yeah, we should do that.
Yeah.
So I'm on Instagram, and am I
On
looking at
all
this
of
one?
these things.
You know what? You can feel free to not look at the cameras at all,
Right,
or look at
so-
the cameras. It doesn't really matter.
Find me online and don't be a creeper.
Word.
Good standard.
Good luck.
Yes.
I'm asking as a friend. I'm trying not to interrupt because I finally read that email about not interrupting. But
Oh.
I almost never look at the cameras. I just pretend like they don't exist. But are you working on anything currently? Like a
Y'all
show?
are doing all my work for me. Yes, I'm in a local circus called Sir Cupcake Square Circus.
Yeah.
We have a show coming up in May. It's Mother's Day weekend. It is going to be so good. There's going to be glitter. It's going to be gay. It's going to be amazing. You should come see it. It's going to be at the Alberta Rose. And there's going to be 4 shows that weekend.
Do you know
and
someone
it's
to-
awesome.
Do you need anyone to work the door?
Email me.
Okay.
Y'all cannot have my email. Sorry. Shanna can.
Yeah, no.
Shanna's special.
I would have to stop you there. Like, my email is...
I have
Little
business emails
Yeah.
for inquiries.
Inquiry.
Inquiries.
Cool. You will... I think it'll be pretty obvious who you're playing as the night progresses.
Yes. Should I
Hopefully.
say that now, or should we just?
No.
let everyone
As
discover it?
the night closes in.
He's singing again, isn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
No?
So,
It's the same on that side.
what else is up in everybody's world right now? Anybody else want to talk about anything they're super stoked about? I know that
I have something.
you want to talk about something.
But everyone else can go first.
But I
if you
think
want.
No.
I think maybe
No.
we should save that for
But
last.
everyone else can
What?
go.
I have a
Oh, why? Is it
request,
like
if
a
I may.
Oh yeah.
Which is
Since
that?
I'm new to the cast, and I mean only here temporarily, but whatever. I would love it if we did like a name and pronoun circle so that I can figure out who all y'all are.
Totes.
Name,
as
pronoun,
humans.
character, and character pronoun.
Yes, that one.
We can do that.
I like that.
Is everyone okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Great.
I'll start. Bill, he, him, GM, don't care. Yeah.
All. As
All.
How about anything you're excited about?
Oh gosh, the show for one. The fact that we're going to be working on in the next like 3 or 4 weeks, moving to live stream. Very excited about that. I'm excited to go to Florida with my partner to visit her family because I love her family. And then I'm excited to begin working on my voiceover demo reel. So
Yeah.
those are all of the
So
things in the
exciting.
next like month that I'm really excited about. And if I can get to, there's another show coming in Alberta Rose, and it's like this ancient prog rock band that used to open for like Pink Floyd back when like Sid Barrett was the front man, and that they're called Sound Machine, and they are fucking amazing. They're not everybody's amazing, but if you're into prog rock, they're amazing, and they're like super old, and I'm super excited that they're like still playing, and they're like that old, and I mean nothing against. I'm just passionate about people who like still are passionate no matter what age they're at.
I will always support geriatric prog rock.
Stoked about that. Yeah. I got to go see King Crimson in a heartbeat. Anyway, that's what I'm stoked about.
I'm Connor. They, them, he, him. I play Ferg, who goes they, them. I'm excited to be finishing this fucking trilogy called the Soldier Son trilogy.
Oh god, it hurts so bad. It's so good.
I just want it to be done, and I've got like 100 pages left.
Robin Hobb. On the third.
I'm on the third.
Get that the cathartic release, maybe. Question.
Yeah. This is no. At this point, I'm spite reading. I just want it over and done.
Sounds good at that point.
It is, but it also really hurts.
What does your face look like when you're spite reading?
Like my face.
There's no like
Extra
or
snarl.
any no. Okay.
Oh, I do. I just snarl.
For the record, we also drew a little bit of inspiration from that series for like the level of like ascendant magic which I mean it was like a hint, and then we went off into mycelium, but it's definitely like that's where we were talking about that sentient element. So
Right.
hopefully less ragey.
Less ragey.
Did you mention
Less ragey.
Did you mention your character?
Yeah, Ferg.
Okay, cool.
Ferg.
Yeah.
The barbarian.
Cool.
Librarian.
Librarian.
Barbarian? Barbarian, is that what we came up with?
Barbarian.
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 I like Barbarian.
Yeah.
Librarian.
Yes! It's so gay.
Yeah, we're gonna go with that.
What? Look at those dice. It's very...
Yeah, I have all of the shiny sparkly dice.
Fair enough. Hi, I'm Will.
My Jezza.
He, him.
So good.
I am playing Captain Time. TYM. Call her Time. Or Tim. It's up to you. She, her.
Safe space.
And things I'm excited about besides this burrito, because oh my god, it's been that kind of day. I'm excited to go up to Seattle with Shanna in a few weeks and visit her tribe and see that. Should be really fun.
Meet the mom.
Meet the mom.
Ooh.
I'm way more nervous about that.
I hear she's
But not
real
really.
hot, so. You started this. Yeah, it's got a lot of little projects going on in my life. I'm pretty thrilled about. So, yeah, I mean, nothing particular at the moment that I'll bring up, but just like happy to be here with y'all, like working on this project, teaching and doing that jazz. I've got a lot of things that are culminating. I'm going to Japan in like a month and a half. I'm pretty psyched about.
Oh, with students, correct? Fuck yeah, I remember you talking about this ages ago.
Yeah, it's happening.
Oh, great.
So, cool.
Yeah.
Excited.
What part of Japan?
I think we're flying into Tokyo. We'll be going to Osaka, Kyoto, visiting Nara. We'll be checking out shrines and like we should be there for the cherry blossoms, which is also really
my god. Oh, I've heard it.
And I'm gonna get on the bullet train. It's gonna go 200 miles an hour. I'll be at the front of it going and giggling. So yeah, it's gonna be fun.
maybe pick up a little inspiration for Legend of the Five Rings if we end up playing that on Saturday. I'm not obsessed, I swear.
Oh, I didn't send you the picture of Bill holding the book last night that he brought out when we were hanging out
I
drinking.
know, that needs to be a theme. Like
Yeah,
whenever with Bill.
every time we hang out.
A picture of Bill with the Legend
Yeah,
of the Five
I
Rings.
just out of the most
Yeah.
random places, like, oh, it got it hidden under my
Yeah.
armpit. You know, it becomes like I could become Job from Arrested Development. You know, but where did the fuel come from?
Tag.
Me? Hi, everybody. I'm Ashleen. They, them pronouns. My character is Keth, the half-orc monk. He uses he, him. And I'm really excited to show you guys the map that me and Bill like rough sketched out, and then I like kind of like fleshed out a little bit more and spent today coloring and having fun with that. So I'm excited to show you guys that. I'm also excited about this 10-minute play that I've been writing. It's kind of like a fable, and I've been having a lot of fun with it for one of my classes. So.
Oh yeah. Word. What's the play about?
It's honestly about this vain woman who, like, wishes to only gaze on something worthy of her beauty and ends up getting, like, trapped in her own house with all the windows and doors being, like, turned into mirrors. And then she loses her mind and then shatters the door after she's kind of like lost her beauty, because she like spirals into like this depression where she like stops taking care of herself and stops like looking in the mirrors, and then like
Wow.
yeah.
Creepy as fuck.
Yeah, it's pretty creepy. And then like her reflection starts talking to her, and then she like shatters a mirror to like hit her reflection and sees the world again, and it's like, oh my god, the world is what's beautiful. So it's like one of those like it's really fable-y feeling, but it's fun.
Yeah. Nice.
That sounds really cool.
I like that.
Nice.
I'm Shanna, she, her. I play Farron Lykenstep, or
Hell yeah, you
that's
do.
my character, he, him. And I just got back from a climbing trip in Joshua Tree, which I was really excited about. Climbed some grabbed some granite, and didn't die, and left some blood on the rocks, and it was like really awesome.
It's gritty as fuck.
But what I'm really excited about this week is that I finally paid my fucking Portland arts tax.
Oh shit.
And I don't have to think about it anymore. And I was gonna make the phone call where you're like, can you please just like take all the penalties off, because like this is obscene and I really don't want to spend $175 right now. But I just was like, I don't want to think about this anymore. I'm just gonna credit card this shit, and I'm just really glad to not have to think about it anymore.
Pro tip: just pay the tax anyway, and just leave the penalties on there.
Well, that could have been brought to my attention like 4 days ago, but it's fine. I don't care.
I mean, I didn't do that at all.
When we go to the PDX Winter Lights Fest, I'm going to be like, to every single person, I'm going to be like, I paid for this shit. I paid for this shit. I paid for this shit.
Yeah.
You like that?
Those folks don't get paid anything.
I know.
I didn't pay anything for you.
That's why I didn't pay the Portland Arts tax for years, is because I was like, I have discrepancies about where the funds are going, but
Yeah,
I just didn't want to have to think about the bill anymore, and I didn't want to have the conversation. So sometimes you just have to make adult number decisions that don't have anything to do with the like logic.
Totally support it.
Anyway,
It's just like one less thing on your plate.
I hope our viewers can relate on some level, because it's terrible and awful, and sometimes the man just wins. It's all right.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to think about it anymore. Anyway.
Last but not least,
I'm Ashley. What the fuck is my character's last name?
I don't know.
Lumia.
July.
July.
You're Lumia July.
I'm Lumia. Uh-oh.
Dun dun dun.
Bum, 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 bum.
And Bill asked about my middle name that I'm assuming you came up with because I didn't have anything. So.
No, I didn't.
Okay, well, I'll work on that.
Might not have it.
I am excited about playing tonight. I'm excited about doing a writer's room for a contest that I run next week.
Yeah.
Either going to be really bad or really fun, or hopefully
there's a trap spot.
hopefully a learning experience.
Oh.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Oh no, what happened?
Hi,
Hi,
it's
hi.
fine. I got stabbed by acupuncture needles today, and Bill happened to touch the.
Ooh, tender spots from
spot.
acupuncture needles? It must have needed some release.
Usually does.
Okay, so you want
Yeah.
a writer's contest?
Yeah.
That's
Ooh,
awesome.
Willamette Writers Contest.
Ooh.
And
Dude,
I told you
high
guys about that.
Yeah,
No.
you told me
No,
about
I
that.
don't
remember that at all.
Tell me about this.
Well, you definitely told me about it. Maybe we talked about it when we were like on a break.
Did you whisper it into your Rolling Rock?
No, I said it was like
I
it's
listened to you,
a screenwriting competition, and you had to write like a 7-page pilot, and
Well, I only
they
listen to
picked 10
winners.
people. What?
I only listen to winners, so you won now, so I'm not.
Oh, I got it. No, I told you
was
after I
bad.
won.
Cold.
You guys just suck at
I'm
this.
sorry.
I don't want to go into this. It's just gonna be fun, and it's
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's really exciting. Y'all are so talented. I'm so excited to be here.
yeah, it's exciting. My kid's shitting in the toilet more.
Yes!
Good segue.
Yes!
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 So great.
A real excitement of the night.
That is exciting. That is the real
it's
victory.
not-
That is a
it's
big
not-
victory. I mean, that's less cleanup for her.
Yeah.
it's
That's-
not
I wish people
all
still
the
applauded
time.
me
We
for that.
haven't tried
Yeah, but you're
Congratulations.
good.
How often don't
Yeah,
you
it's
is
like-
the more of the
Yeah.
issue.
Yeah, right. The
Yeah.
problem is if you're not doing it enough, you're
I'm
getting
first.
definitely
I
not
don't
fun.
have
Yeah.
anything.
Oh yeah.
All right. So, thanks for all of you coming. We're gonna dive into things, but first, a small recap. You all have been on this flying vessel, an airship called the Sky Spectre. This vessel is both a military vessel and a commercial airline owned by the July conglomerate, which is Sparky's family. And I don't have a drink
We
yet.
drank
God damn
when
it.
Ashley.
Oh, that's right.
I told you this.
I'll have to
Double down.
I'll table that.
Means two.
Those of you have been running into some fascinating characters. At first, some of you thought that perhaps Time and Ren had died in the fall as you guys were pulled out of the Jawbone Flats. But it turns out that not only did you both survive, but you survived via Feyren has wings.
Fuck yeah, you do.
And so
I do.
He thinks they're cool, by the way.
so
Cool.
that was a big reveal, and perhaps maybe a little bit of a sensitive spot for Feyren.
They're pretty weird looking.
We didn't talk about it at all.
No,
And
it's not.
and so let's see, what else do I have to say? Sparky has been very concerned about a few things. One of which is the dagger that has been stolen by your cousin Blake, and
Blake.
and also what else have you been concerned about?
Little dick.
Not going home to Valenstein, not
Yes.
seeing my mom. Definitely don't want to see her.
Yeah.
Don't want to go home. Kind of want to get off this ship.
Right.
And but I'm pretty torn because like I love my creepy nanny, and I don't fucking know what to do. And is this what's it called? Aspects.
Oh, I forgot to write my new one. Sorry, Bill. I was gonna do that today.
That's fine.
I got map distracted.
Map blocked.
I have a quick just aside. I wasn't done with my news. So I've got a new technique.
I guess I have
When
you.
I'm getting stuck in scenes, I'm working on my middle grade fantasy. I've been writing. I've been doing musical scenes for them to get unstuck. And if anybody wants to help write songs about like why human blood is better, more delicious than like animal blood, or songs
Sure.
about like wanting to escape being a slave to vampires or something like that. Like if anybody's interested in doing something like that, I could use some
Jingles?
help. Sure.
More like rock opera. Like,
Because I can write jingles.
Whatever. Yes, jingles, a jingle here and there.
Whatever floats your vampire
Jingly
blood boat.
refrain.
Jingles.
Yeah.
But I'm especially because if you're doing musicals, then you.
I feel like this would be a great thing for Fisher to get involved in.
Oh, it's not a musical. I don't know. I'm assuming that it could be a show. It's because I play shows at the Barbaros and it's music. So.
Yeah. Oh, that's fine. I mean, like, it's true. It's true. Well, this is a circus, so there's like a lot of aerial acts. But usually I do like drag characters.
Bad guy stuff.
I get cast as villains a lot.
Best villains.
Can't imagine
ever.
why.
Well, mine then.
But it's fine. I mean, like, I can also play good guys. Like, this show was like I played like
I should
a really
get a
sweet
cup.
prince.
Hey, Bill.
You play the Sweet Prince.
Well, we're
Yeah, the
vamping.
Sweet
We mind
Prince
snagging me a
that,
cup.
falls in love with her and
Or
is like,
some form of-
why is this ring still in
Liquid
this
one
I don't
as well.
understand. Do
Liquid
girls turn
conveyance
into cups?
device.
I don't understand. Why did she just leave?
Okay.
What is this?
Okay, sorry, big interruption.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No,
about
it's
that.
fine. Did you want one of the copper cups? I'm sorry. Did you want or one of the glass cups? I just
Glass we get to.
cool. By the way, there's coffee out there.
Awesome.
Coffee.
Coffee.
And
That's
feel
Sold. This is our slow up drink. This is our slow ramp up. Yeah, this is why we say be careful.
Forgot my vodka in the car.
You go get
It's
them
in my-
right now,
it's in
Sparky.
my car seat.
All right. So I would like tonight to be casual. If you need to get up and get stuff, that's fine.
Like booze in the car.
Yeah, boost from your car, anything like that. But I will be pressing forward and continuing on. So just thought I'd let you know. We are going to start off, as I promised, from last week. Time.
Huh?
You kind of wandered into some kind of a theater, like a small little theater inside
A little documentary
inside the
Hollywood
Sky
theater.
Spectrum. Yeah, totally. And when you sat down, I mean, obviously the music's going to be different, but inside of your head there is that sort of like old like World War I-y like music playing in the background
Propaganda roll.
as you see a battalion of griffins flying through the air with dwarves mounted on top of them. And
Standard. Sort of
And and as a matter of fact, you realize this because you're somewhere in the middle of this battalion, and you're one of the dwarves.
Well,
And
this is really good quality picture.
yeah, oh yeah, this is straight up like VR, like high tech. And what you see in front of you is you see that this battalion of griffins is going straight towards a smaller in number, but no less very real and certainly coming at you like bullets, a smaller battalion of dragons. And they are basically heading straight towards each other with the intention of war. And you, as one of the riders, someone draws their weapons in midair, and their voice is amplified somehow. And their voice yells out, "For Rosax!" And everyone draws their weapon, "For Rosax!" And you draw a dagger with a basically a griffin head with the claws as the hilt. And then suddenly inside of this vision, the two claws sort of like latch onto your skin very painfully. And that's what jolts you out of this weird little vision that you had.
And one of the attendants is like shaking me like, ma'am, the theater's broken.
Yeah.
Please leave.
Yeah, basically.
yeah, no, that's what they said last time. They were like,
She-
"You need to go."
She immediately like checks her hand.
Oh, it's scarred. But this makes perfect sense to you because you've actually wielded this dagger before, and that exact thing happened when you were a kid. Is these two claws dug into your skin and would not let go. Someone had to like call your parents. A magic user was brought in. They had to cast remove curse. It was a whole ordeal. There's a lot of embarrassment, but both on your side and on theirs, and it left you with a lasting scar and a kind of an interesting appreciation for what kind of a mystery would be be housed in such an item. And if it wasn't obvious to any of you just listening, this was definitely a dwarven relic.
So my parents maybe deal in appropriated dwarven relics from the war.
Are you as time telling them that?
At some point, yeah. I figure like, yeah, I'm more like in the moment kind of explaining this, but like if anyone ever like has a question or knows enough about the times. Wah, wah.
He's so
I just love that
Yeah,
you're like
okay.
Will, and that name already comes up a lot, and now your time.
It's like I planned this. I didn't. But yeah, we can play it out in character at some point. But
Yeah,
just a
for
little,
sure.
little hint in there. But
For sure.
no, it's really cool.
So I imagine that you're just thinking about that vision as you're moving up in the sort of levitation lift as you're heading upwards to the control room to have dinner, in which you all were invited, and you're just sort of like
wonder who we're
rubbing
gonna
your
dinner with.
old scar.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I mean, she's sitting there, kind of like looking at it and thinking about it, and it's always felt a little different, right? Like one, it's a thing where she's constantly casting with her hands, and so she sees it,
Yeah.
but she's always like thinking about it, rubbing, and it's always felt like just a little odd, a little off, not quite part of her.
Right.
But so, if anyone asks, she would tell that about her, like the little story that you just shared. No more than that though.
And before you know it, the force field goes away. You are all raised up beyond the security
The bug
checkpoint.
zapper.
Yes, the human bug zapper, essentially. And you all float up past a few areas. Bogan Schultz is there guiding your way, sort of guiding you from the back, pretty much. And then you get to the very, very, very top of the levitation tunnel, and there are two guards described before, and I will describe them again as in like full plate to the point where you do not see their faces at all. Question.
Ren turns to Bogan Schultz and asks, do you have any advice when meeting Lady July?
Oh, just be yourself.
Okay. But I just don't want to offend her. I don't know I know the July family, but I've never met this particular July. Is there anything that triggers her that I should steer clear of?
The fair and lichen step that she knows is well respected.
Oh, okay. Good. Cool. I have a really nice shop. It's cool.
And make a insight check.
With a disadvantage? I don't know.
No, I would never make that case.
No,
for
because
yourself.
that
specifically.
So I believe that you're at a disadvantage on social ability checks right now.
Yeah.
Insight would not be
That's why I was
social.
wondering if it was a social one.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
it's actually you know what? It's actually more of a perception check, not an insight check. So please
Okay.
roll a perception check.
Where am I? Oh, +5. 17.
17.
Receive
So
the shit out of
when
that.
Bolgan Schultz says what they say, and that the fair and lichen step that is known to her is very well respected. There's this very odd eye shift, this shady eye shift
Great.
over to Keth
Oh.
after they say what they say.
Okay.
And it was just for a moment,
All right.
and you caught it for a second, and then Bogan Schultz goes back to kind of
Yeah.
ever the
Okay.
loyal servant.
So, Farron's kind of Kath, you should fall back.
Keth already is at the back.
Okay, cool. Just stick your Ferg.
Are you putting the half orc in the back of the elevator? That's real messed up.
You guys just gotta get through this.
Ferg's already in
You have to
the
go
back,
through
so
this.
It's war.
it's worse than
looking
that.
at
It's
you like-
dinner.
I assure you that won't be
Ooh.
necessary. Keth, you may sit wherever you like.
Right next to her.
And Farron's just
I made sure
And,
my book was extra shiny.
and then-
grab your hand.
And then
Sure, no, you can.
Bogan Schultz claps 3 times. The guards part their spears, and you can already hear a gentle and opulent music playing in the background. You see that there are a few other guards stationed, one at the end of this very large room, and you look around, and this seems to be the control room. And Bogan Schultz basically right this way, and leads you to a sort of a passage that leads into another room separated by a tapestry, not a light tapestry, one of those parting ways tapestries. Enters into a room that is very much akin to a dining room. You quick glance around, you quickly realize that this room both serves as a bedroom and a dining room, meaning it
Cut
can
out
be,
the middleman.
meaning it can be converted very easily to one or the other. So you know for sure that this is true, but you all are suspecting that this is also perhaps Lucy July's quarters. And speaking of which, you enter the room. You don't see her anywhere, but you do see one small child, roughly 11, maybe 12 years old, and they're sitting right at the table, and he's like, "Hi, I'm Cleaver. Mom will be right here." I fucking heard that.
Is that your cousin?
Don't sit next to me.
Who's Cleaver? How do you know him?
It's my cousin.
Mm-hmm. Is he the one that was attacking us on the ground?
No, that was my brother.
Okay.
Oh no. So you would recognize the difference
Okay.
easily. Cleaver is much younger.
Okay.
Whereas your older brother is, well, literally older. And like you're 13. Your older brother is like probably in his maybe like late teens to early 20s, I would imagine. Or certainly looks like it.
You have a real complicated family.
I'm gonna sit next to you, because you know what? I want to know where Blake is.
Who's Blake? And you know that
Zap!
Cleaver like totally knows where you're going with this. Like he knows.
I know, and I'm starting
Berg
to shake.
sits down on the
And
other side of
Quiver and
Cleaver.
sparkle.
I'll
sit next to
My
Sparky.
self is starting to sparkle.
Ren is just salve.
CBD oils. It's like, shh, man.
First time I've ever like brushed you off. Not now. I want to be mad.
I would like you to make either an insight check or an arcana check.
I forgot my dice. Can
Well,
somebody give me the knife?
Can you pass the
Here's the dice.
the ashtray of dice holding
Ashley.
to pass the ash to Ash. Sweet.
Oh, lucky! Wait,
That's a 7.
that's a 7.
That's a
Shit.
7.
Oh.
Better than
What
one,
are you
though.
talking about?
Better
It's
than
like-
a one. Better than one.
It's not Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes.
What are you making, Arcana or Insight? What do you have a better plus on?
I have neither.
No.
So nothing.
Yeah, you definitely feel that sort of that rage building up, and like we all know what that can lead to.
Oh, so that was an insight into myself and what's happening to myself.
Correct.
Okay.
You're not very self-aware, clearly.
Over Cleaver's head, Ferg is just like, hold it together, kid. Not at the dinner table.
And Farron is still here.
Talking.
I made promises, and we're gonna
Yeah,
have a
kid.
nice dinner.
Okay.
Yeah.
You saying that to me
Hey,
actually
you?
is.
Hey, Sparky, maybe you
Shut
shouldn't sit
up.
next to your cousin. You want to come sit over next to Farron over here?
I'll make you eat that.
Actually, Ferg saying that to
Actually,
me
no,
is
you won't,
meaningful
Ferg, because you promised no
they
violence.
are keeping it together.
On the airship.
Yeah, that's
So.
fair.
We are on the airship.
Yeah, I didn't say make him eat it now.
This is delayed violence.
Come sit next to me, kid.
Your timing is quite awkward.
Stop with the salve, okay? Okay, I thought you liked it.
Who would like some hors d'oeuvres? And so Bogan Schultz
Cat loves food.
cast a small little spell and like whispers in their hands, and in come a bunch of the very, very fancily dressed concierges with plates of hors d'oeuvres. And coming behind those concierges is one Commander Lucy July. Would you like to describe yourself?
Oh, you're Lucy July? What?
Who saw
What?
this coming? Dead to me.
Are you done?
May I present Commander and Life Steward Lucy July?
It is an honor to have all of you on my ship. Lumiere.
Hey, Auntie.
I'm so glad you're here.
I know you're happy to capture me. I know I'm in trouble. And you probably don't care about that.
Mom, can I eat the food?
Soon.
But it's like right here.
Keth awkwardly puts down what
1
he was
minute.
eating.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. And then puts his hands in his lap and tries to look shorter.
I want to sneakily ask, should I ask my auntie about my knife?
Why are you asking me? I'm right next to you, and I don't want.
I thought I wasn't sitting next to you anymore.
I thought you sat down next to Cleaver
Oh, that's-
specifically.
I
No.
thought you guys
No,
made
We
me move.
separated the
Yeah.
children.
Oh, got it. I missed that part. Okay,
We
you
separated the
separated them?
children.
That's
Yeah.
great. So who's next to sitting next to Cleaver now?
I
Fergus.
guess there's a space between me and him, and then Ferg's on the other side.
It is a big table, so that would make sense. And you basically see Cleaver like sneaking food, even though his mom said no, not to.
I'm jealous.
So how are y'all situated?
I'm over there.
Okay.
So I'm whispering.
How many seats are left at the table?
It's a big table.
It's a fairly big table. I would say that there are 3 to 4 extra seats.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Um,
Candles are lit.
Are we all wrapped around the table this way then?
You're wrapped around the table exactly how you say you're wrapped around the table.
Okay.
But candles are lit. There is a very nice, very mild lavender aroma at the table, and the food that comes out are various light meats, like mostly chicken and very finely sliced, like pork, like prosciutto and stuff. And then a various amount of very lightly steamed vegetables, still al dente. The carrots have a nice snap to them, even though they are cooked. And then a various amount of dips, and a nice little bed of a large variety of edible mushrooms that are cooked, obviously. That's just a start.
I had to remind myself what I look like. So, thank you for holding. So I'm wearing mostly whites, predominantly. Some kind of like lovely dinner gown, I would assume.
I would
have to make
also
these
assume.
decisions, don't I?
Decisions are
okay.
Yeah.
Dinner gown, mostly white, with like some gold accents, little flashes of purple here and there, family crest on a choker on my throat, and I really have like a lot of like warmth towards you right now. I'm really happy to see you. So, everyone.
You're taking me back to my mom.
You're 11.
You're 13.
You're probably a little older than that,
Okay,
and she
you're
forgot.
Yeah. 11 was the last time
You're
you saw her.
probably a little. You're probably older than that, and Lucy just forgot. You know,
I
like
am
12 and a half.
35.
Logan Schultz. Schultz.
Schultzy.
Yes, Commander.
Bogey.
Come sit, eat with us. Sit next to Lumia.
Oh, Bogan Schultz has the smile. Sorry. Yes, Commander.
Sit next to Lumia. I'm sure she misses you.
As you command, Commander. And sits kind of right next to her.
And your smell has even more of a calming effect than the sound.
I get it.
I made this specifically for you.
I hear you loud and clear. No more stuff.
Fair like a step. I actually very much like the smell of your salve. You're not listening, are you?
I'm listening. Do you want some sap?
Commander July, may I partake in Step's salve?
Yes.
I would be honored.
And gives you a little tumble massage.
And it's
Maybe
like
a little chest press.
It's the first time that Bogan Schultz looks a little off their guard as their eyes roll up in their head, and they're just like, "Oh, this is delightful."
This might be useful.
Kind of taking it back.
So now you no longer have disadvantage in social interaction with bogey shots.
Oh, and yeah, let's just say that. Let's say that.
Okay,
Yeah,
sounds
sure.
good.
Boom.
Massaged her and them, so.
You're welcome, Bolgan Schultz.
And now that everyone is seated, of course you may partake. Cleaver, please. My goodness.
And Cleaver is his namesake as he
Chops.
I'm
goes
just
hog
looking
wild
at
on
you
the.
like,
What? They're fucking good. Eat your food.
Ferg elbows him and says, "Use a fork."
And
This is the barbarian. I love it.
he
as you're like using a knife. and
he
fork.
Yeah.
does use the fork,
Vivarian. Excuse me.
but he pokes your leg with it, and then he keeps eating.
My grandpa used to
Who,
do that.
yeah, like who's got? Hold on.
Don't poke the Vibarian.
There's nothing on here that's like specifically about.
Doesn't
Kids
need to be
poking
specific.
with forks.
Yeah.
Forks over knives.
No, most
Part
of it's
two.
knowledge related.
Anyway, so
Ferg just looks at the kid and is like, keeps eating.
okay.
Fully aware that you could eat this kid for breakfast.
Yeah, and fully aware that we already told him that we would feed him his own hand once we're on the ground.
And yeah, and
With that fork.
and you know the funny thing is that Cleaver has this look about him where he simultaneously knows that he's digging his own grave, and at the same time he is just not used to taking orders from anybody not his family.
Clearly.
And even them.
And so yeah, so he keeps eating.
Can't help himself.
Yeah. Why'd you run away? You suck. You caused everybody super lots of heartache.
Cleaver.
What?
Eat.
It's true though.
I know.
Hey, Auntie.
I'm okay.
So, Cleaver and more, I think Blake They took something of mine, and I really want it back.
That's not true.
I really want it back.
How about we talk about it after dinner? Clearly, you need something to eat.
Just eat, God.
Mushrooms are pretty good.
Yeah, they're pretty great.
Cleaver continues to stuff his little fat face.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of moments where like Time is looking at the table and kind of just like
Keth just
moves the candle
like,
over like an inch.
subtly puts a napkin in
And
front of
stops.
Cleaver.
And oh, thanks. He actually like says thanks,
Cool.
which is but
Spitting up a
no
little
eye
food.
contact. Just grabs the thanks.
I like it.
Necessary. What did you want?
This is so awkward.
Didn't you want to ask July something?
Yeah, I'm just like eating my dinner first.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's cool.
This is just
I'm used to
appetizers.
it.
Yeah,
I haven't gotten
and I will
dinner
say
yet.
that there is a
I'm giving the family a little bit of a moment.
there's a seriously awkward silence, I would say, for like a good solid minute that probably feels like 5. In that time, some more food is brought out, and they kind of do it tapa style, where it sort of like one plate at a time at that from here on out, and everybody sort of like is expected to share, taking the plate, taking what they want, passing it to someone else, that kind of thing, and slowly but surely, like a whole course sort of rolls out.
I'm feeling like I don't know what to do because I don't want to make a scene, but I'm getting angrier and angrier, and I want to demand my stuff back. I don't want to embarrass my friends. I don't want to get them in trouble.
Just out loud.
Right. Ren.
No, I know this is me, like, internally, but, really quick, where were we at in terms of what our plan was last time?
So Ren wanted to talk to Lady July, and it ended up being a dinner plan.
Yeah,
Okay.
because that was the
Yeah.
only way we could get up to see her.
Yeah.
And you want to get off this ship.
Mhm.
And I don't think anybody else had any like super
You were gonna
solid
run away.
plans past
No.
that.
This is a lovely journey. I'm thoroughly enjoying myself.
I'm not gonna tell. I don't want. I know not to, that I want to tell her
That we want to run away.
That we want to run away.
Right.
I know that much, but
But you also didn't want to run away until you got your dagger. So that's part of why
definitely
we're
want to get my
doing
dagger.
this.
Ferg made plenty of money and is just waiting till the plan coalesces and for you to get your
So
shit
we're
back.
planning on leaving. Is that correct? We're planning on getting out of here.
On a long enough
not
timeline,
necessarily.
we will get off the boat regardless.
I mean,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
accurate.
yeah, Ren's.
Before we get to Hans.
I want to compel you to actually fucking start making a scene because you were haunted by blood family from past and future, and you were just like, you really want this knife, and no one's really like listening to you. You've got your annoying cousin in the room yelling at you. You're confronted with your aunt and all these things, freaking out, and you were finally boiling over.
I don't know if that's
You
a
were
stretch.
haunted by blood family from past and future who are also in the present right now in the room with you, and you're freaked out about meeting mom, and
That's
you
your
really want your
adopted family,
safety
though.
dagger back.
And if
I mean,
if
sure,
if
sure.
if we are to go with this and we feel that it's at all entertaining and we're going to say that this compulsion happens. By the way, do you have a inspiration
I
point?
have 3 inspiration points.
Oh wow, you could actually use that to cancel this out if you'd like.
No, I kind of want to do this anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Well,
vote for
but
doing
here's
the
the thing: is you're not going to get any more than 3.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
3 is your maximum
Three's max.
inspiration. Start using your inspiration.
Yep.
You gotta be
Yeah.
more inspiring.
You can also give your inspiration to other players.
Well, in
Not like
moments
away,
when it's
but in-
necessary, not like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah,
What do you mean not away?
Like,
Like-
you can't just be like, here, have one of my points right now.
It has to be.
If they're in a tight spot and they don't have any inspiration, you can be like, I can give you inspiration.
Kind of
So-
like a weird bardic inspiration
Yeah.
thing.
So here's what I'll say. While you're not getting an inspiration for this compulsion happens. Things start to boil over and bubble over. And the one thing that happens that Will did not describe is
Do not cast Boulder Cut.
something in your head says, ask questions. You're curious, are you not? Very whispery and very.
Snake in the room.
Snake in my boot.
Exactly.
Okay, and I'm also going to use, before this you're compelling me, I want to use an inspiration point to,
It would have to be after.
but I haven't exploded yet, you said. This
I
is
know.
before.
I know, but
Okay.
this is happening
All right.
like right in the moment. So basically, you're not gonna get an inspiration point out of it. You can
Fine.
use one and then go down to 2 if you
Fine.
like. But
Ask a question. What do I want to know?
I don't know, but you better
besides
scream
my
it.
knife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta
I
get
better
real
what?
mad.
Scream it.
Until your lungs give out.
Whoa.
yeah, and
I love it. Just getting prepped.
You better be blown up like a Julie.
Oh.
I don't want to go home.
You
and
might
I
pee a
actually
little.
zap her. I actually.
nothing happens. The zap doesn't happen.
Oh.
So your dagger, the
At
source
the
of your
very
magic?
most, you let out the force that you think is the zap, and Lucy's hairs on her arm just go up just a little bit, but that's about
Okay,
it.
so-
Smell a
because
little
of-
ozone.
So is this because of my lack of dagger or because of her protections?
You have no idea.
Okay, well that's gonna put a damper on things for me.
Should.
And okay, I'm gonna fold a little bit and.
Magic tantrum.
Well, no. I'm gonna use my charisma and say I just. Why do I have to go home? I don't belong there
I'm
anymore.
gonna take Lumia's hand. It's going to be okay, and all will be clear once we get back to Fallenstein.
Valentine.
So just enjoy dinner, and we'll be there soon.
I grab a mushroom and give it to my friend.
So, Ren pipes in.
Lumia, you're in good hand. There. Ren pipes in.
Lady July, we have been traveling with Lumia, and you've brought us aboard this vessel. I know we're on our way to the city. I'm wondering if we can't, like, if there's any, like, we need to, like, reconcile the situation. Like, we have your niece in our stead, but she's working through some things, and we feel like we can help her out. Just want to clear the air as far as any misunderstandings.
Yes, and you are
Farron Lycanstep.
Farron Lycanstep. I know about your family.
You've actually been to Farron's shop before, the Stepping Stone in Rosax.
Yeah. Father, mother. Is it matriarchal family? Like who did I interact with? His dad.
No,
It's my shop.
you've actually interacted with just the shop
Mm-hmm.
in and of itself. In terms of Farron's other, like his larger family, I don't know who wears the shoes in your family, mom or dad.
I think it's matriarchal at this point, but
Sure.
it's neither here nor there. It's pretty
You're
Because
kind of estranged from them,
Who
right?
grabs the
yeah,
power?
from what you described, you are a very illustrious, very powerful family, cold and proud.
Yeah.
Did you have in your mind's eye what your family did for business?
Well, they historically have been involved in the founding of the Grand Mycolog.
Right.
So they're very scholarly. They're also very involved politically, and I'd like to think that dates like far back to the days of I'm losing like our timeline, but like the warring days before that.
Yeah, like the demon wars and whatnot.
Yeah, like there were some like pretty prominent like warriors in the demon wars. Like there's some like long Lycanstep lineage, and
Right.
even if there's not, they fill in the gaps.
Yeah. By the way,
You know?
Farron is an elf.
Yeah.
And one of the very, very, very rare, rare-blooded elves that grow anomalies.
There's a hereditary
Yeah.
flaw.
There's a hereditary flaw in
Yeah,
some of
it's a
the
flaw.
elves that make
It is a
them
flaw.
grow certain things that may or may not be construed as positive or negative, but mostly within the elven culture, they look at it as an abomination. Farron kind of got the lucky draw out of that, and Farron has wings.
Can I disclosure it?
Yes.
So there's a point in the history that we created where the elves try to force a symbiosis with the griffins
Using the mycelium.
using the mycelium,
Yeah.
and abominations were formed, and they did away with that experiment,
Yeah.
and we actually like created that. So Farron carries a like very recessive gene that's linked to that, and that's why Farron has wings.
Cool.
But it is.
Thank you for tying that in because we discussed that a long time ago, but like I actually forgot.
And we
about
hadn't
that.
disclosed it, but
Right.
it's the way that I see it or the way we talked about it. It's kind of looked at as it's like a freak show thing. Like it's like kind of embarrassing, sort of like something people don't like to talk about because it's embarrassing.
Wait, so
it's
your
like,
wings
Well,
are
it's also a
leathery,
reminder
they're
of
not
a
feathery?
mistake.
Correct.
yeah.
It's
It's
also a reminder of a big
That's why it's-
mistake. Yeah.
That's why it's taboo. That's why it's like not something to be carried with pride.
Right.
It's like
Gryffindor.
it's like this thing that the high elves fucked up on.
Yeah.
Like they didn't
Like
do a
Dragon
good
Ball.
job. So it's sort of akin to like I don't know, just something that isn't it's taboo. It's not something that's
And let me be clear: this recessive gene doesn't always produce cool things like wings.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, usually it produces things that are hideous and very not practical, not usable.
Claws could be cool.
Two butts.
Yeah.
But at the same time
And
it's
then
like
twice the
it's
amount
like
of butt to
lineage
grab.
wise, like
Ooh.
there's not a lot of like people look at that and they're like,
Like
oh,
one
you
cheek.
carry that, like we're not gonna think about that, we're not
Do
gonna.
you remember me describing in maybe last session or the session before the two elves that are on the Sky Spectre that are conjoined twins?
Oh yeah, the ones that
You're
were
guessing
kissing
that
me.
they also carry that recessive gene.
Farron and stuff. I have respect for your family. Your mother and I worked on a project a long time ago, and she had information that was of great value to me. How long have you been traveling with my niece?
Just the last week or so.
How long have you been hanging out with an underage
Relaxed.
child?
Yeah.
Week or so?
She came to our shop and in great distress, trying to figure out some transitional things going on. You know how kids are. And
I maybe look over at Cleaver.
So
And Cleaver's just got cocktail sauce all over his mouth, making him look like a little bit of a cannibal.
right.
But
But
so we took her out to the woods.
so we knew this could be.
Sounds so bad
I didn't
when
want to
you say it
leave
that
her.
way.
We had time to talk, time to think,
think this way.
and we just went for a journey together. You picked us up, but I'm saying thank you, and I hope there's no misunderstanding in that. But also, I think Lumia could benefit from staying with us a little longer. I think, I'm just saying, we'd be happy to take her on for a while, if you'd be willing, because it sounds like there's some trouble at home. I just want to put my services out there as a potential guardian. I wouldn't let anything happen to her.
what is Lumia doing right now?
She cried a lot.
Is
So
Lumia
happy.
okay?
I'm so happy. I thought you were gonna throw me under the bus, and you're like actually saying
Please
you
take
want
this
to keep
burden
me.
off.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Please take this burden off our hands.
and I'm really, really relieved and happy.
Are you giving any indication that you're happy right now?
I'm crying a little bit. Yes.
Time
Okay.
chimes
But
in as
it-
well,
it,
by
like-
the way, on this, and she's like, "I've also
It's
noticed
fine,
she
I'll
has an
misread
aptitude
it.
for
It's
magic."
fine.
Lydia, oh god, hold on, July. Time jumps in. She's like, I've also noticed that Sparky seems to have, Lumia, seems to have a aptitude for magic. Perhaps my skills could be a handle to perhaps keep it in control.
And I don't know how you feel about the mycelium. It's
I
very
would
confusing
not
here.
Appreciate interruptions.
Apologies.
Got this, Kath.
I am aware of the
Auntie.
Time family. Louis, another time. I am aware of the Time family, and your
Yes,
family is
Louis, it's
also
We got
delightfully helpful. And I would like to talk to you later about future business opportunities. But now is not that time. How is everyone's food?
It's amazing.
Delicious.
That's
Lovely. So glad to hear.
Decadent.
Gross.
Should I get you
Look at
something
him.
else?
How can anybody eat with not
Can I get you a
Bogus
cheeseburger?
Oh,
With
yeah,
your
Cleaver.
focus
You need some
shells.
fries with your
Anybody
chicken
eat?
nuggets?
with that thing doing what he's doing?
Rude.
That is your
Sparky,
cousin,
he's
Louis.
using a fork at least.
You know what? That is
He
my
is your-
friend.
He is
That
your
is
family.
my friend,
And-
Auntie.
And he looks at you and he's like,
really rudely to her. He saved my life.
Family has saved your life. She can't argue with that.
Yeah, you haven't saved me. You've captured me, and you're.
I didn't actually do that. That was out of character. Sorry, I should have said. Rosie!
Yeah,
Rosie.
yeah, I can't see Lucy being like, your family saved your life, family saved your life.
Oh, I can argue with it.
All right,
Lady
yeah,
Lab.
13-year-old.
I just would love for this to be a continuing conversation. I think we, the Lichen Steps have gone back with the Julys for quite a while now, and I think we could just continue this type of relationship. Like, I think we have a lot to offer in terms of like stewardship during Lumia's transition into like whatever she's becoming, like whatever power she's tapping into, whatever she's going.
Cleaver like snorts so hard at what you just said that like he accidentally like gets a piece of food up in his nasal passageways, and he does one of those, and then comes out.
A pee.
Yeah.
Sparky's body's going through some changes, and we just want to help him through this transition.
Your intentions seem sincere.
They are.
I thank you for sharing.
Your family's been great customers of ours for years, so I wouldn't, I'm sincere.
I see. That's very kind of you. But what Lumia needs right now is to go home to Fallenstein. Okay?
What's waiting for Lumia and Fallenstein?
It's of great import, but we cannot discuss it at this moment.
Lumia, are you safe right now?
I just want my stuff back. Where's Blake?
Where's Blake?
Come to think of it, you haven't seen Blake in like a day and a half.
What does Blake usually do when I don't see him for a day and a half?
Well, it's usually like when you don't see Blake for a day and a half, you don't see Cleaver also for a day and a half because they're like two peas in a pod.
Yeah.
But to see Cleaver and not Blake, it is odd.
Yeah.
It is very odd.
I don't know right now. But I'm sure it's nothing to worry about.
I'm not worried about him. I'm worried about my knife that he stole.
He stole a knife from you.
Are
Are we sexist?
The July family.
Yes.
Um,
are we?
Well, I feel like
Well,
we're
I don't
not
process
The
it.
royal
There would be evidence against that, considering your position.
Right.
And that you guys took
and
like
Angelica's position, yeah.
Yeah.
The answer is no. You're very much more racist,
Right.
especially angled towards orcs than anything else.
Great.
Keth has kind of been in the woods his whole life, so he doesn't really understand that people are being racist to him. He just thinks that that's how people are.
That's so sad.
Doesn't make you feel any better. at
No.
all
It
about
really
that.
doesn't help.
A small plate of, not a small plate, like a medium plate that's passed around the table of roasted duck just comes in and is being passed around. The bones have been meticulously removed, so there's, bones are
You can just make a
Best
pig of
part.
yourself.
boom. I mean, Cleaver's ready.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the
Is there a
skin and
chance
shove it
so-
in my pocket.
So I guess like based on like, could I say something?
Skin shoved in your pocket.
that,
What?
like,
Delicious.
well, he's just probably
Yeah.
on a ship somewhere,
Brace later.
and we'll all,
I think I'm a
Convenient.
whiny little
You're
kid.
You're like,
I'm
I am breaking out of here.
I used to
Yeah,
put
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that in my
Same.
pocket when I was a kid. And I couldn't say pocket, I called it goppet.
delightful.
So cute. I will win
One of the
so if that comes up later.
concierge comes in
We both know.
and does one of these, and Bogenschultz's head pops up and says, "If you'll excuse me," and gets up and politely leaves for a time. When Bogenschultz gets up and leaves, I would like you to make a perception check, please.
Oh, you got this, Bunny. I believe in you.
Well, you got
No,
inspiration
you don't.
points, so
Soccer
Yeah,
ball.
you
Yeah, you
Sucker
can.
ball.
Well, you can do it after the fact of this one.
okay. Would you like to use a inspiration?
Sure.
So re-roll it and add 10.
Well,
If it's below 10.
if it's 10 or below, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
18.
When Bogenschultz parts the light little tapestry.
Oh, insight is charisma?
Wisdom.
No, yeah.
Yeah, insight's wisdom.
I thought you said perception.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
but I
you
did
said.
say perception.
Also wisdom.
Oh.
Oh, never mind.
So when Bogenschultz parts the light little tapestry, the curtain, you see Blake on the other side of the tapestry, and Bogenschultz basically flits right by him, and then the tapestry shuts again.
Mm-hmm.
So
What?
you saw him,
What
and then
was
you
that?
didn't.
She wasn't moving to him. She was moving past him.
Bogenschultz? Yeah, they moved right past Blake.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sitting between you two. I just saw Blake right out there.
Your cousin?
Cousin, it was my knife, yeah.
Oh, okay.
You didn't
And-
see that.
I'm sure you
And,
can catch up
and
with
to-
Blake when
to
we
be
get
fair,
to Valentine.
Yeah.
Both of you have pretty decent passive perceptions. You
Mhm.
have a very decent passive perception, and you did not see that.
'Kay.
You saw the curtain part.
Mhm.
You saw Bogenschultz leave, but you didn't see another person.
Okay. Is this a matter of positioning, or is this something I'm seeing?
You hear that whispering voice again in your head, but this time it's a little
I need some
it's a
guidance.
little non-distinct. It's just and it begins to also like kind of like slowly morph into something like it's almost like tuning into you until it finally kind of comes along. And by the way, feel free to interrupt me at any point because this is all happening at once. But basically,
Moving on. I'm a little worried about you right now.
you know, I'm none too happy. That's what the voice manifests into. You know, I'm none too happy about being stuck with you.
And I would like you to
You're gonna
Yeah,
just
like-
listen
find
to
some
this.
comfort.
You're just gonna listen to her lips just
And
flap and
you're
flap. She's
pretty
not
neat.
telling you a damn thing, and you know it.
You're worried about me and you can't even find your own son.
I have a partner.
Blake is welcome to run around. He's a grown boy.
Oh,
He's
he'll
a
run
grown
around
thief.
all right
Okay.
at my behest.
Lumia.
Did you just call your cousin a beef?
A thief.
I've got beef
That's
with
Cleaver.
that thief.
Cleaver's the beef.
Okay.
Blake's the thief.
What a
He's a
beefcake.
grown beef.
Beef and thief.
Maybe you should mind your business.
The curtain opens up, and
Family.
you see Blake walk in.
Family is my business, darling. Blake, come to the table.
You do not see Blake.
Oh, Family is my business, darling.
You see, we're family, and this is Blake saying this to you as his eyes are pure black, like a shiny, dull obsidian. And he says, "That's right, family first, beautiful. Now let's get
Is he
acquainted."
holding my knife?
Yeah, he's holding your knife like this.
Nobody can see him, but I don't know that nobody can see him.
Correct.
Are you reacting to
Are
him?
you gonna say
Uh,
something about him?
But you see nobody reacting to him. Like oddly,
We're all
no
just
one in
eating
this
duck.
room, and he's walked up to the table. He's right behind time. Right behind time.
My friend
Time.
works.
Time.
Chef, makes better.
Time!
Oh, she can't see me.
Time! Time! Look behind you!
Maybe it's time for everyone to
My
retire
cousin-
to quarters.
You see nothing.
Blake is right there! You've got my knife, you little asshole!
Are you sure you don't want some salad?
You might want to stop referring to me as your cousin because he's not here anymore. I want to introduce myself to you, sweetie.
Tom gets up and walks over to you and is kind of like looking at you,
And it's
looking in your
unfortunate.
eyes. Take feeling pulse, like
Well, I want to, like, you're like the only one who would understand, like, I'm seeing this thing, time.
Hey
know
Bill,
you
I
know
want
what
to do
I'm
an
talking
Arcana
about.
check on see if what's going on here.
I'm seeing this thing.
I mean, I'm not allowing you to because you don't see anything.
Well, I'm telling
Well, I mean,
him-
like I'm coming up, like I'm
telling-
inspecting
I'm
her and seeing
saying-
if I can like see
and I'm
anything that's
telling,
going on
I'm
with
seeing
her.
this thing. I know you know what I'm talking about. I know you see stuff too.
Can I, like, take Lumia somewhere else?
Sure.
You
Great.
could try.
Oh damn!
I think that perhaps your bodyguards have put some strain on your mind, and I would like to speak with you outside.
You
of the
haven't
borders.
really researched the family business,
It's
have you?
very important.
You've
that
not
you
seen
and I
your
talk
son
to-
right there. His eyes are. You
I
can't
keep
see
telling
anything.
you, there ain't no more sun in this little vessel.
Cleaver's right here.
Am I going crazy, everybody?
A little bit.
My
Okay.
cousin is
Everyone
in this
else
room.
may be excused.
Don't leave me. Don't leave me. You can't leave me. You can't leave me.
You don't want me to leave you?
You can't leave me. No, my cousin
At
is in
this
here,
point,
and then his eyes
because
are
you're
black.
panicking so hard, I just feel like I'm gonna milk this for every penny
She
it's
seems-
worth, every copper it's worth.
Uh,
Now
really
panic.
Yes, I don't think that your presence is helping.
This
matters.
is-
Well, honestly,
Can I
I think
approach?
it's
delightful.
Can I
your
approach
presence
Blake?
isn't helping.
Sure.
Okay.
I
I'm gonna
don't
approach
think
Blake.
your
Yeah.
presence is
Oh.
helping.
Yeah,
Guys,
Lady
I
July.
Now
just-
you feel a little courage welling up in that
In
stomach
fact,
of yours.
I think
Give
you
me
might
my
be
knife.
bringing danger to my niece's life.
I've been protecting her
Are
this
you
whole
sure
time,
you
and
want
you're not
that?
listening to her. She's clearly scared about something in this room.
I don't see any
I'll
of
be
you
happy to
helping
give it
right
to
now.
you. As a
So
matter of
can
fact,
I
as a
enact
matter of fact,
mage
as a
armor?
matter of fact, I
Touch
have to
mushrooms.
do
So cool.
anything you ask me to, sweetie. That's the deal. So if you want your knife, I'm gonna give it to you.
Can I pull on? Can I? I feel. I don't know if I'm like disconnected from my magic or not, but can I pull out mage armor?
You try and fail.
Okay. Okay, I vaguely try. So like, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you feel the
Don't half-ass your
energy
magic.
welling up inside of you. But
That I was
it's
getting used
like
to,
the it's
yeah.
like the magic equivalent of like right when it starts to happen, you get a leg cramp. Like right when you're about to do the long jump,
Ooh, Charlie horse.
you get the leg
Right.
cramp, but it's like that
terrible.
magical energy that just like wells up and then just knots inside of you, and then you don't.
Okay.
Nothing happens.
Okay. Do I know
Swear
that
this hardly
nothing
ever
that
happens.
it's now not enacted? And do I like because I'm still getting used to this, but do I know that it's not
Correct.
there?
Yeah,
Okay.
you know that's not there.
Okay. But I'm okay. I don't know what I'm doing. So
The rest of you
yes, give me
may
my
leave my quarters and leave Lumia here.
And the dagger gets handed to you, and right before he lets go, he's like, "My name's Buckley," and then he lets go, and then the moment he lets go, a dagger appears in Lumia's hand, and you hear a thud as you see Blake on the ground, unmoving, eyes normal.
Berg just spits out, "Shit, kid, you pulled a knife out of thin air."
And you and the first thing you see is your
Told you you
son
should've
on the
listened.
ground, not moving.
Guards, seize them.
boy, you haven't had
we
dessert
didn't-
yet.
I don't give a fuck about your dessert.
I thought we were having a nice dinner here.
I'm gonna look to Lumia, and if she
The
like,
guards come. The two guards come in, but
Oh my
one
God.
guard pops out and like clangs his spear on his like plate armor like 3 times, and then after that 3 more guards come in.
Okay, so I'm looking at
Each of them grabs you.
They didn't do anything. We didn't
I'm
do
looking
anything.
I'm not
at
letting
Blake
anybody
right
grab
now.
me, to be clear.
I'm like not listening to any of this.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
Like,
inspect
I'm
my
not
son.
okay
Is
with
he
that.
alive?
And I'll just jump behind you. that sounds good.
Roll
Yeah.
an
Yeah.
Arcana or Religion check. I will accept either one.
Ferg's gonna stand up
No
next
idea what my
to
character
That's fine.
stats are.
to be clear, Bill, I'm not letting anybody grab me.
16.
16.
Okay, so given your what's that?
I'm not letting anybody grab me, just so we can.
Then it will be a contested athletics check.
Okay.
And
You gotta have some decent arcana.
Oh yes.
so this is a very interesting scenario because
Yeah,
at
it
first you understand that your son has no pulse. That scares you more than anything else.
Yeah.
But then you realize that your son is still breathing, and those two things are commensurate with the fact that that's usually connected to some kind of a soul imprisonment, like a magic jar effect.
Sure.
And so technically your son's body is still alive, but his soul is gone.
Interesting.
What'd you roll?
He's a little shit.
He walked in here, Auntie.
I'm gonna use an inspiration.
Cool.
17.
So you pull free, and
Just to be clear, like, I'm not trying to hurt him. I just don't want to be grabbed. So like,
that's fair.
yeah.
The guard
Monk level
looks at you
adjusting.
like, and so you know these guards essentially communicate with looks.
Yeah.
So this guard looks at you as to like, are we tolerating this? That sort of thing.
What do you want to do with this shit?
No, we are not tolerating.
The guard
Nobody
stabs you
did
with a spear.
anything.
And we can roll initiative if you'd like, but like, basically the guard brandishes his spear. Okay, here, I'll redact that for a second. The guard brandishes his spear and then steps up again and attempts to grab you.
Okay.
Do you let him?
Can I just...
Anybody have cats?
Can I step sort of in between the guard and Keth?
You're grabbed by another guard, so no.
But can I advocate on Keth's behalf and be like, he's with us, like, we're out of here, we're good.
I'm
Do I have my
sorry,
power back?
like, I am not paying attention to these four except for the one that's causing trouble.
I have done nothing to harm you. I don't
Do I have my power
wish
back?
to be grabbed by your
What?
guard.
My power back.
Yeah, you feel it rush back to you. Like, almost an adrenaline rush style.
Stop.
Candy.
So
I-
here's what before you make any decisions. Here's what you
Yeah, I
know:
feel like-
these guards are very deadly. They're not to
Okay.
be trifled with.
Yeah.
And your aunt is a very, very trained, life steward that is essentially a cleric, a very well trained cleric.
Okay.
So
But,
resisting right now might not be your wisest move.
I'll do a peaceful resist. I'm just gonna sit with my hands folded in my lap, and I'm very large, and they can do whatever they want about that because I'm not gonna fight, but I'm also not gonna let them grab me.
This is very confusing to this guard, and so the guard then just looks down at you, and then just maintains a spear on you.
I'm okay with that.
Bert turns to the guard that's on them and is just like, we made a promise, don't touch me, I won't do anything. Just, we'll stand here, it'll be fine.
Make a persuasion check at a disadvantage.
Oh,
Bogey's gone right now, isn't he?
yeah. I feel like Bogey would have told all of the guards, though.
Ooh, 13 is the
Too
mine.
bad.
13.
Not bad.
The guard kind of tilts his head to the side, and
And
then
I'm like, Berg is clearly not moving, not reaching for anything, like, standing very politely.
Yeah, and the guard just takes another, like, basically takes the same stance at Keth, is basically, like, pointing its spear at you.
Yeah. We stay within easy reach.
No one's leaving the room right now.
Right, no one is leaving
Yeah.
right now. So I know that, like, I can ascertain that what's my child's name?
Blake.
Blake. He's so handsome.
He is very handsome.
Great.
He looks like a limp fish.
I mean, he's
I was
not
gonna say
handsome
limp toe.
in a limp fish fashion, but
His
when
face
he's
is
not a
well
limp
thought
fish,
I just keep thinking of Old Blake. So
To be
this is
clear,
just really
Keth would
funny.
not say he was a limp fish.
don't think of old, but this is not based on a full Blake for sure.
You sure?
I am absolutely positive.
So, have I seen anything like this before?
Magic jar effect?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This level of application of magic jar, this is completely new to you.
Yeah.
And you're not. You're a seasoned cleric.
Yeah, and I wouldn't. Is there anything that I know that could like explain how he just kind of like appeared and this dagger appeared and like I know that like some major shit is happening. That's what I can like ascertain. What can I ascertain from this?
Well, I mean, like I'm just gonna spell out like exactly what happened. Like the dagger appeared in Lumia's hand. She was complaining about the fact that Blake stole it, and then the moment it appeared in her hand, Blake appeared right next to her and basically just fell down, and is in the state that he's in.
Is he
And to
under
be
the
cl-
table?
what?
Is he under? I'm so sorry. Is he under the table?
What do you mean under the table?
Well, where did he fall?
He fell like to the side, basically
Okay,
where
good.
Lumia was, and no stab wound, nothing like that. It's perfectly fine.
Oh, and you heard Lumia saying that he was standing there with black eyes before anybody could see him.
I thought she was losing it a little bit.
Lady
And I
July,
was
I was one of the
mostly-
top of my class at my mycolog. Perhaps I can offer my services in aiding your son.
Captain Time, come here and tell me what you can see.
See what I can do. Like Arcana, something along those lines.
Well, okay, so
Investigation.
tell me what you're trying to ascertain.
I want to ascertain. I mean, depending on what's been said or what about here, like perhaps what caused this effect.
Um,
From what I know, I see like the dagger. I've been around looking at this dagger for days. I don't know. I mean, this is meta knowledge ish right now, but like
Arcana
the dagger
would
that
be
showed up. Cool. I roll a 14 on my Arcana, which is a 20 total.
yeah, that's your divination power. Yeah, right.
I saw this happen actually a little earlier today.
Okay. So this is exactly what you see.
I forgot about that.
I'll tell you exactly what you see when we get back from the little break.
Cool. Sounds good.
Okay.
Go get your vodka.
What did you get on your roll?
20 total.
20 total. Okay. So here, there's a few energy signatures that you were picking up from one is obviously the dagger, and the other one that's like very similar to the dagger energy signature right now. That's like that's surprising you a bit. Is Lumia's pendant that she wears.
Better not be mine.
Yeah, I'll get it in a second.
So I'm gonna say, Bill, like also because I'm just like I'm really into this right now, and I'm starting to see things, and it's like connecting that like Time fully knows that she could like spend some time doing a ritual, but there's like essence of like immediacy right now, and just absolutely like transitions into detect magic, like casts it as like the slot, and just like goes into like following this flow of the energy.
Well, before you cast the spell, here's the other thing that that you're picking up on is that some kind of you knew through what Lumia said is that like that pendant is like your focus, correct? That's what you said before.
I think so.
Yeah. So it seemed like for whatever reason the whole dagger thing transferred her focus from the pendant to the dagger for a time, but you think that maybe other things came along with it, including a lot of her like reserved power.
From
like it came along into the dagger.
Correct. And now it is back inside of her. The only thing that's left in your dagger that you can kind of instinctually sense is that there are 4 charges. 4 slots.
I thought there were 10.
You don't know. Some kind of something like just took it right out. And
Well, how
it's a
about-
little confusing.
I don't feel like I would know specifically. I mean, that's nice to know, but like I wouldn't know that specifically. I'm not that savvy yet.
Well, you don't know that specifically as a character, but I'm telling you as a player,
Okay, cool.
you definitely have the instinct that like it's the energy.
Diminished.
The energy is lessened. And I'm gonna go grab some hot water for Shannon. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Interesting.
Well, I'm feeling like too much focus is on me, so I'd like somebody else to do something.
I'm doing that right now.
We're all like
I'm working
kind
on
of
this.
held by guards, kind of in your court here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Someone
over
is
by the body.
passively resisting.
I'm doing stuff right now. Like
Passively.
I'm chatting about
No.
it.
I'm a
Like,
monk, so
I got
Yeah,
this.
that makes sense.
We can do a thing.
I love it. I love
I
what
see
your
your
character
Wait,
gun.
wait,
I have,
wait.
I have
Look
full.
at him in
I don't want
have
to
full
fight.
charges
Like
in my
I
knife.
have
and
no
I
reason
have-
to fight you guys.
That's
I
on top
am
of
not
my
like an out of character. Like,
3, right?
I'm not
Say
interested in
what?
anyone
Mhm.
fighting either. Like I'm like
I don't know what the charges do for you, but
Yeah.
I think they're extra spell slots.
are they extra spell slots,
That's what I
Bill?
thought they were, right?
They extra spell
Yeah,
slots?
they're actually extra spell slots.
Jesus.
Level
And
1.
she had 10 at a certain point.
Oh God. All right.
That's so
Whoa.
OP.
That's why the 6 of them are gone.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that too. I was like, Bill just
So that's really interesting.
curbed his enthusiasm.
So this thing is like real powerful for you. I mean, let's put this in the context. How many spell slots do you have normally?
3 without it.
Yeah,
So now
so
you
like
have
3.
7.
This thing has the capacity of like
13.
more than 3 times your capacity for magic, just like in
Right.
this object. Like
And you know that like now when these 4 slots go away, they're gone for good. There's no like refilling them or anything like that.
Oh,
You
so
can't
sorry.
refill them?
Correct.
That wasn't. I feel like that wasn't part of it
It
before.
was very
It
much
was.
part of it.
Because I
Did
remember
you change
asking.
your mind or something?
No,
I remember
Connor-
asking about it
yeah.
in game and after. Because it was like so powerful, and Bill's like, it's only 10 slots.
I've got witnesses.
And now it's only 4 slots.
All right,
And now it's
LSP.
only 4 slots because you didn't use it.
And then Bill used it
That's what you
with
get.
demons.
Well,
What?
I
So if you don't use
Bill
it,
didn't
you
use
lose it.
anything. The thing that
It was like 2 seconds after I learned that it was 10 slots that got like, taken away from me.
And that name keeps like ringing in your head.
What's his fucking name again? Barky.
Buckley's the name.
Buckley. My name is Buck.
So this is my like old
No,
I would date somebody named Buck.
Oh yeah, I don't know, but like Buckley.
Yeah. So everyone's freaking out. You're checking out.
I'm seeing this connection between.
Are
these
you
pieces.
saying it? Are you describing what's happening?
Imagine her like a doctor or like a scientist, kind of just like out loud, like talking to herself and like working through. Like she's like, oh, this is like I'm seeing this. Like she's describing her trip to you, like what she's doing, and like, but doing that like really to herself and out loud and just like processing it. But it's a little out of order and sounds weird and odd. But occasionally there are words that follow in terms of what's happening. So like I think it's if you're listening.
There's a process, but it's a little bit out of order for most people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, got it.
So like, does Time get a sense that with all of this, like that the soul is like trapped in the dagger? Is there anything like residual in the dagger that she can sense from this like connection?
You rolled a 20 before?
Roll a 20.
The soul is not in the dagger.
Oh.
The soul is also not in the pendant. It's somewhere else.
She kind of turns to Lumia. Like, is there any residue of this soul like powering Lumia or in that vessel?
Asking me?
Wait,
I'm asking that. I don't know.
To whom?
You. I mean, she's trying to like she's following the magics and like looking through like if she's here. She's like, it's not in the dagger, it's not an amulet, and she is like now focusing on Lumia with that like detect magic, and I can roll other shit again if you want me to go deeper, but she's following the train of logic.
Yeah, that's gonna so with detect magic, that's going to be another arc. That's gonna be a religion check.
Yeah, alright.
Yeah, it's for you.
That happens. I don't suppose you want to give me one of those inspirations, maybe. Sounds great.
You can have one of mine, but I don't know how Keth could inspire you.
Well, imagine Eric. I mean, I'm literally using it on her. That could be like a narrative way that she could use one if she wanted to, but I don't know if she does. Out of curiosity. Would you be?
I knew that was gonna happen.
But yeah, we're talking about. I'm like, you don't want to use like an inspiration on this, perhaps, because this is totally about you. I'm throwing it out there. You don't have to.
Oh, for you?
He's trying to find out if your cousin's soul is in your body.
Is that really that important? Because I don't know. Like,
No, just roll
You don't know if your cousin's soul back in his body?
That is going to be a 10, unless anybody does anything with that.
Just like
That's what I got.
You
got this time.
You come up with no answer.
And she kind of like looks at you and like stares in your eye for a moment, and kind of like you see her
Looking for the soul.
kind of do this, and then she just keeps like turning and like looking. That's
Yeah,
like,
it's like you're following through a maze, and then you just keep hitting dead ends and keep hitting dead ends and keep hitting dead ends.
In fact, she kind of like she does that and like drifts off you, and then you kind of see her like doing that like in this weird sort of like wandering around the area like in a weird, imagine her like looking for clues sort of idea, but it is very like just kind of wandering within like a 5 to 10 foot radius and just kind of gets drifted off that way. Like she's not finding what she's looking for. Soul
Can I
searching.
ask Ferg a question?
Not that funny. I thought it was funny.
Thanks.
I'm like,
good.
I'm
That's really
referring.
good.
I'm deferring to you because you're the person who's like holding it together. And I'm like, I really want to explode right now.
Kid, right now that's 100% up to you. I don't want to get poked full of holes.
Okay. I'm gonna take some deep breaths. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at my friends. And I'm taking deep breaths.
Bogan Schultz comes back in now.
Okay.
Bogan Schultz. Oh my goodness. Great.
Oh dear.
What did you say?
Not again.
Oh, I don't
It's a Thursday.
What can I do, Commander?
I don't know.
Say no more. And Bogan Schultz swoops down, props Blake's body up. Someone tell me how this happened in brief.
He walked in with black eyes holding my dagger, and then he gave it to me, and he had a funny voice, and nobody could see him, and I took the dagger, and then he fell on the floor.
What'd she say?
accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, the last part. We didn't see the first part.
Yeah.
You recognize this, do you not?
I do. Of course I do.
What was
Shut
it?
the fuck up! I'm trying to cry right now, okay?
What was it again?
You have some wet stuff on your face.
You can always do what our
This
friend
is my son! This is my baby!
Still got cleave.
We need to get him to
That's why it's crying.
we need to get him to the death stewards in Fallenstein. This must happen.
When you say-
I see your frustration, Commander. I'm sorry. The good news is that his body is alive. I'm at a loss.
Oh my god, they're gonna turn him into a thrall. I mean, I'm not saying that out loud.
How do you believe that entire monologue happened while you've got your hands in your lap and you're just muttering to yourself?
LOC.
Okay,
My
so
Commander, worst case scenario, we can just turn him into a thrall. I'm kidding.
A real pretty one.
Does the ship go faster?
It's
To ludicrous speed.
it's pretty much got one speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we, like, get rid of
Are we getting
passengers
there
to
the
go
next day?
faster?
Are we getting there at noon
Yeah,
tomorrow?
let us
One more
know.
time.
Yeah,
Are we getting there tomorrow at noon?
Correct.
Yes.
What time is it now?
Dinner
Tonight?
time.
It's a 35-hour days though. So.
Yeah, we have
What the fuck?
I
35 hours,
may have been
5
doing
days.
some astronomy in this game.
Yeah.
5 days.
My
a week.
character's literally an astronomer.
Okay.
I'm screwing with the solar system.
It doesn't fuck that much with like the whole like people's sense of time. Like you can still think of it as like our dinner time would still be their dinner time. And,
Sure, yeah. No, I'm just,
Like,
that's adding hours.
They've adapted, but
Yeah.
we've just screwed with things in a narrative sense, and it's pretty fun.
Why not?
Cute. Okay, great.
So it's
noon
no
tomorrow.
rest.
Can
Is
Blake
there,
hold on for that
so,
long?
out of character, is there like a place that I would like logically like store my son's breathing body?
And
He's breathing.
there is
I
a
said breathing!
There's a
Yeah.
cooler over there.
there is a medical
It's
facility.
like a medical day?
Yeah. You know that they're not going to be able to do much because of his condition.
You're right.
But at the same time, they can sort of like I don't know, for lack of a better term, like store his body there.
Let's
Bogan
store his
Schultz
body in the
leans
med bay.
leans into you and whispers so that nobody can hear. Nicholson is waiting on you whenever you are ready. I know this is very poor timing. Nicholson is a fellow wizard that you have business with.
Wink, wink.
No, it's
No,
not.
no,
No,
kind
not
of
that kind of
business.
business.
Not the flavor.
Get the euphemisms right, alright?
We're
We're
in the.
That's having lunch, remember?
But we're in the dining room that's also in the bedroom. So.
Oh, so that's why it's lunch.
So wires are crossed. Yeah.
Do you guys
That's
want to know
what I
my
was
favorite
thinking,
ladies'
like,
man?
mirror on the ceiling.
Yeah, this is so specific.
When I said dinner, I meant we'd be having sex, and when I said movie, I meant we'd be filming it.
That was a really good ladies' man
It's
accent.
really good.
That was
I didn't even try that hard.
You got the schmooze in there, really.
So
Oh my
So I
God.
feel that
They-
line.
Okay, so
so
I
Bogan
like-
Schultz picks
Yeah,
up
baby.
Blake,
I'm sending Blake to the med bay with,
begins to take
Bogan
Blake
Schultz?
out.
or could I send like my guards to take? Would it
I insist. Your guards don't necessarily have that level of like finesse or even training in order to like transport someone from point A to point B.
Well, I trust him for a reason, so or trust them for a reason.
Yeah.
There you go.
This was the asshole that was shooting arrows at time, right?
Bogan
This
Schultz?
guy?
No.
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 No, we established that.
That was another
earlier.
brother that was shooting arrows.
No, this is
Cousin?
her cousin.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Cleaver's
Cousins.
brother.
Yeah, but I thought it was one of
These
her
are-
family that was chasing after
These are the
us.
two children of Lucy July.
Mhm.
So the son of Angelica July was the one shooting arrows at you.
Oh,
Bogan
gotcha.
Schultz
Different.
told
there's
us
so
that
many
they had gone
there's
rogue.
so many Julys.
Yeah, tell me
And
about
honestly,
it.
that's how that's
Well,
how time feels about it.
There's only
Bogan
one
Schultz
July,
told
and
us
her
that
name is
they had gone
Miranda.
Okay.
But I think
no.
that was the day you guys weren't here.
No. I was here. I'm remembering that night of the conversation now. That was last week.
Oh, okay.
It's been a.
Um,
Where did?
There's a snow day.
Where is my niece?
Smash the bathroom.
Where's my other son?
Bogan Schultz
Still eating?
yells from a distance, "She's going to get vodka!"
I I don't laugh at
Fucking
that.
teenager.
Not funny. Not funny.
Where's
Teenage
my- where's-
halfling's like 20, right?
No.
Halflings is like
Well,
matured
remember.
in the 30s.
Remember, Bogenschultz took Blake out. Are you asking
Cleaver.
where Cleaver is?
Yes, where's Cleaver?
Cleaver,
So
you
many
finally
guys.
turn around, and Cleaver, you've never seen him completely like pale white face stone. Like he is a stone statue right now, and he's just like looking up, and finally, like when you look at him, he just kind of looks up at you.
Covered.
And you can see like a couple of tears like rolling down his face,
Oh, Blake, what did you
Smearing
do?
the cocktail sauce.
Yeah.
smearing the cocktail sauce. Awesome.
Oh.
Inspiration for that one. That was
Yes.
I
great.
thought I licked it off. Was there just too much for one thumb?
Yeah, it was
one
too
of
much
those,
for
like,
one thumb.
You barely got any of it.
Yep. What are we doing? Stop laughing!
My pain is real.
Make me like fuck up my falsies
Like,
right now.
Yes, that's my goal now.
This one was always my favorite.
And then before you can
Where?
answer, Cleaver like runs out of the room. Like runs out of the room.
Drama.
That's probably for
Trailing
the
the
best.
sauce.
Where did you find that dagger?
Where did I find that?
Oh my god!
You said didn't you say it was given
It
to you?
literally came out of nowhere, didn't
I
it?
don't remember.
No, you had
Did
it on you. It just got magic with one of your chaos.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
It was a chaos.
It was just one of my
result.
daggers in my passion.
Yeah,
forgot that
so
about
where
that.
were
That's
you?
my question, Stan.
I've
Where
been
did you
on an
find that?
adventure, Auntie, and I have to have weapons to protect myself. And it was just, I just have it so that I was by myself, and I had a dagger, and it just got.
And maybe if you had not left, this would not have happened.
To be fair, it looks like a normal dagger. It doesn't look special at all. And as a matter of fact, it looks kind of janky.
It's just a ridiculous fucking dagger. I'm still gonna say what I just said, which is out of out of line, but I'm blaming a child right now.
I keep hurting people. That's why I have to leave. Can't you see that? I don't belong here anymore.
I need to go to Homeland.
The homeland.
Valentine.
Valenstein. This is no longer a question.
The
We are
father
going to
ones.
Valenstein. We'll be there tomorrow. Damn it!
Did you hear what I said?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
What's my brother's name?
Joseph.
Joseph.
Can we get a
He
family
shot me.
tree
I'm still
for
salty
the,
about
for
it.
the fucking
I
Julys?
want to fit
No.
the portrait.
Because
I
it
almost
should be
killed
confusing.
a kid.
What?
Well, I almost killed a kid. That's why I.
No, I'm asking in character. What?
Haven't we all?
You know this. I almost killed a kid. You
Do I
just
know
told me
this?
he wasn't.
Oh.
He wasn't.
Sorry, I knew that.
It's okay.
It's grief.
Well,
Li-
information.
lightning the story was that lightning somehow leapt out of her fingers and basically almost fried this kid to death.
Yeah.
Almost.
But you told
Or the
me
kid
in
was dead.
The
well,
kid-
she
the
didn't
kid
know
lived.
ago
She
that
didn't know though.
that he survived, but I also hurt my brother. And so I'm like, just let me leave. I don't want to hurt anybody else. I don't even belong to this family. I'm not even really tied to you, by stuff.
And
blood.
You're not my real aunt.
Ren is kind of like, Farron is kind of doing like motioning his eyes to Lumi and then to you. And then like, like, come on, what we were talking about earlier.
Oh my god, that is so inappropriate right now.
Just trying to make like a.
You're gonna like fuck up like a whole like allyship if you keep doing that, and I'm
Okay,
throes
I'll
of
stop.
grief.
Okay.
Great. Okay, good.
I mean, I get that you're not
It is
getting
important that we go. So many notes. Valenstein. Family matters have happened. It is important that we just get there, and we just need to.
What do you mean family matters have happened? What does that mean? Joseph's
Go for it.
On the run and tried to kill me? Yeah.
Your grandmother has passed away.
Time was looking for the soul and she stopped.
Bum,
Oh.
bum.
Cat
Get my clothes
mothers may the
get my clothes to my
mycelium
grandmother.
guide her softly.
Incredibly.
Uh-oh.
She modulated.
My-
Incredibly.
Whose mom?
Angelica's.
Oh,
My mom
so
too.
She's no.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
I
Can't be. I thought you were my dad's sister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Incest?
Incest.
Wow, that was fast.
Yeah, hold on.
That was
Hold on a
real
second.
fast.
Hold on a
That
second.
got Game of Thrones
You can
real
draw.
quick.
Yeah, hold on a second. So I apologize.
Real quick.
Yes, you are the. Sorry about this. So Angelica July is your sister-in-law. I apologize,
Oh my god.
but it's fine. It's totally fine.
I married into the family?
You definitely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Who was I before?
You were Lucy Hollow.
Oh.
That's a cooler name.
That is a better
Hollow.
name.
No offense, Bill.
Lucy July is like
Yeah, I very much
Yes,
apologize.
Hollow
I got fucked up on the whole
I just like the
July
last name
family.
Hollow because I learned.
C.
See,
C.
it should be confusing.
No. I want to like make it up and then cut it up a bunch, so you have to like try and arrange it all.
Hey,
the time.
if you want to do this, you're more than welcome.
Also, I have projects. Let's do this. 3D
so,
print.
Grandma
I'll
Custis.
make you a family.
We need to go back to the
Family tree
favorites.
with it, and we're
Valentine.
Valenstein.
within like chunks of it, so like we kind of know little bits.
I imagine you're feeling a lot of things right now.
So here, I want you. I'm gonna do a little flashback.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
So I want you to imagine that Lumia is bored and wandering around in a wide sort of like veranda-like garden that is resplendent with all manner of color in terms of flowers and scents and that kind of thing. And yet you're dull to all of this. You grew up around this. It's just like another dull day in this like resplendently like boring house. And here comes your aunt Costa, or your grandma Costa, right? And so here's what you know about her in this moment, this flashback, is that you know that your grandma is sick. That she has some kind of an incurable cancerous disease. That all of the sort of teams of like medical wizards like swarming around her for like months and months and months couldn't peg down. It was like an impossible thing, and you were never short on money in terms of like having them figure this thing out, and it's just they just didn't figure it out. She comes across the veranda slowly but surely. She's like walking with a cane. Her legs have sort of like not really kind of given out a little bit, and so she's walking with like a really heavy, just a heavy hunched gait, and she heads to you going, Lumi, come here, sweetie. Lumi, come here. Lumi.
Come to Grandma Costa. This is my mom's mom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And when you get to her, she has the brightest smile on her face. And the thing about your grandmother is that she never smiles. She was always kind to you and always spoiled the fuck out of you. But she never smiled. And you don't really know why. You've never known why. As a matter of fact, you've never really even noticed that she hadn't smiled until this moment when you saw it.
Okay.
And she kneels down, a painstaking process as she kneels down. And you come up to you kind of come up to her, and now she's kind of face to face with you because you're a halfling. Mm-hmm. And she says, "Hi," and she's crying. She says, "I have something for you." And she takes off a pendant, and she says, "You will wear this pendant, thinking of our family. Sometimes it will be uncomfortable. But it's what will pull your fat out of the fire when need be." And she puts it on you.
Fucking dog collar.
Yeah. And she puts your beautiful face in her hands, and tears are streaming down her face. And she says,
I feel like I'd be scared.
Yeah, you probably are, And she kisses you ever so gently on the forehead, and she says, "Your grandma Costa had a bit of an ordeal this week, and I'm just seeing things differently. I love you so much." And she just hugs you.
But I thought, okay. Can I ask a question real quick? I thought the pendant was from my blood family. Is this
as of right now, no.
Oh.
Okay.
But trust me when I say that I heard you.
Okay. So, in present time,
And
I'm
she
gonna.
almost doesn't let you go. It's that uncomfortable, like you're so young that you don't understand why your grandma is so kind of clingy right now. You keep hugging her, and then you kind of try to let go, and she's still hugging you, and it's like, okay, that kind of thing.
What does she smell like?
Actually, she I'm not gonna lie, she kind of smells like death is approaching.
Yeah.
Oh, buddy.
But
So-
with a lot of really
But I love her a
sweet
lot.
flavored,
I feel like
over
I'm
the
not
top
gonna push
China
her
masking,
away, I'm
that is
just
not
gonna be
masking
like-
it.
I'm just
No,
gonna
but you're trying to compensate, and it's not
Sure.
working.
Yeah,
making it worse.
smell that.
Yeah.
So.
So now present day.
She wouldn't just put
Okay.
up with that. She tried to smell
So
Likely.
I grab the pendant because that's what I think of.
Yeah.
And
And
I'm just like, when? Like,
it was the coffee machine. We're doomed.
That was Grandma
When?
tapping out.
Drink faster.
okay, so I'm a little placated. I'm a little now I'm like
Roughly like 5
diffused.
days ago was the time of death to
Okay,
answer.
great.
Okay.
This kid.
Are you gonna tell me
Did you just ask me a question?
when?
Oh,
You both are tripping out.
sorry. 5 days ago, I'm grieving.
Also,
Or
this kid might be dead.
Your grandma-in-law and your.
From my mother-in-law.
Oh yeah, I get no.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Your
Grief has
grandmother.
made you loopy.
Loopy loony. Loopy loomy.
That's why we call her Sparky.
You're not married to my mom.
No, but there's intermarrying between your families, right? That's
Yeah.
why she's also a
Is
July.
this happening in character?
You are
No.
not.
Nope.
She is not your mother-in-law, but you were talking. They're talking about their mother-in-law.
Actually, I take it back. This is definitely happening in character.
Yeah. No, time is no. This is how
Wait.
family
Wait.
trees work. So
So much
Your
information,
grandmother
so much knowledge,
is
very little
their
organization.
mother-
Just remember.
their mother-in-law is your grandmother. Mother.
Time absolutely
Is
makes
making it
this
worse.
process worse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
just-
It's really clear to time, and time is not making it clear to you at all.
Excuse me, guests. My family has just been hit with 2 incredibly challenging tragedies. I would ask that the 4 of you leave this room immediately.
Your family wouldn't be here without my dick cream.
What the fuck?
Oh my fucking god! Oh my
cream?
god!
That's what decided to cream. Okay.
Shanna, inspiration point. That was brilliant.
I'm here for the
Do I
July
have a
family.
prison?
No, but you're in so much shock
Do I have
right
shackles
now.
under my bed right now? Can I just...
I mean, are you
Ooh,
that
go
kinky?
girl.
Probably, I don't know.
Then
You
yes.
know, CEOs with their...
We play that game in
high
Rosette.
statuses.
Oh, shit.
Okay, so all of you have it's been made
Is it
clear
Christmas
that
in
you're.
July?
I just want to be clear that it's been made clear that you're
Can
not
one
invited
ask
to be in this room
please?
anymore.
Did you
Oh,
hear that?
Berg
That
gives
was
a
funny.
formal bow.
No one? Okay.
I heard it.
All of our
Sorry.
condolences, Lady
let's
July,
all-
and
let-
like
Please,
Dips out.
let's all. That's. Can we just leave everybody just and Bogan
Can I
Schultz
go
is
with
just.
them and
No.
sneak in with them?
No.
Because you're
No,
distraught.
I'm holding you.
No.
I'm holding you. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
I'm holding you.
kinda.
Like I'm
Yeah.
like sniffling a little bit on your shoulder.
Okay, I'm kind of still confused about how you're related to my grandma, but I'm gonna I'm distraught and my anger is diffused.
We're family. Yeah, well, that's what it took. Oh my god.
Nope.
Anger subsiding. Rage lessening.
Oh, I thought that's not blue.
Is the room empty yet? Are y'all leaving?
I'm
Yeah.
wandering out.
I have a cocktail date, so.
Yeah, I'm gonna go watch a bard play.
Are you chaining under your
Yeah, I
chair?
feel like
No,
I feel
it's
so
just-
bad for you.
You
That
need to
was
get
like-
the fuck out.
Okay, got
You
it.
were the last
So
goddamn
later?
straw. Get out.
Okay, bye.
Wow. Wow.
I don't want to be alone with you.
Did you just say that?
No.
Okay.
Um,
Because I have a response for it.
I feel like Sparky would have said that.
Oh, I
Those
would
are
say to
favorite
them, if
thing.
they're leaving, I don't want to be alone with her.
Ferg's way far away, can't hear anything.
Ren's just like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. As I'm
You're
leaving.
actively being ushered out.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say that like you are at this point alone with your aunt.
Time's just looking around like we're all alone.
I think Ren.
and like you look
Yeah,
over and
some pie or
Bumpschultz's
something
face is
and
right
eat some
there, and it's
dessert.
just like,
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, I
couldn't
have
agree
this
more.
card. She's my new best friend.
God.
I'll take you with
Are
my
you, are you
Okay,
genuinely
sounds good.
distraught?
Yes.
I want
Not
to know
just about,
how
like,
Lady
How
July
we've had
responds.
interactions before,
We're not really
right?
best friends.
Yeah, I like you. Like, I
Yeah.
know that
Okay,
she's
so
nice
like
to me.
this is something where like
I'm just down to like get
typically
some dessert.
pretty calm.
The cool
like
aunt,
I'm like,
yeah.
well, yeah, like I mean, like I love you, like, and I'm like, I'm a very warm person. I'm not like your mother.
My mom is
No, it's fine. No, your mother loves you. She loves you. She just shows it in different ways.
That's called abuse.
Right?
not in the room.
Y'all are gone.
Time's responding in her head as she's wandering away.
All of a sudden, Time just out loud for no apparent context or reason goes, "It's called abuse."
That doesn't make any sense. And you just go, what the shit, Time?
And it is more like it is the most important thing right now that family sticks together. That is how we stay safe. That is how we move on. That is how we continue on.